Jerry Springer. Wanda and Brenda Henson say that their neighbors in Ovett, Mississippi hate them. They say they got that message loud and clear when they found the body of a dog who'd been shot to death on their property. Why do the neighbors want them gone? Well, you see, Wanda and Brenda are lesbians. And while they say they fear for their lives every day, they won't be scared away from their home. But the citizens of Ovett, Mississippi, who have come a long way to be a part of our audience today, say they're willing to do whatever it takes to preserve their family values way of life. We're going to hear from them today. But first, let's meet Wanda and Brenda Henson. They say it's been their dream to create a center where women could attend workshops on things like legal rights and domestic violence. They call it Camp Sister Spirit. Sitting next to them are Talitha Henry and Kathy Harrison, who live in Ovett, and say they want Camp Sister Spirit closed. Wanda and Brenda, let me start with you. Why don't you fill me in on what's going on there?
We had established Sister Spirit Incorporated 4 years ago. We've been operating a food bank and a clothes closet and doing educational programs on the Gulf Coast for all those many years, and before that, but even before we were a nonprofit organization. Our work is about working in the community. We started trying to find a center because we've always had to rent different places, and it's very expensive to rent educational facilities where we could hold educational programs. And so we wanted to have our own place. We wanted to make it accessible once and for all, so because you have to build ramps and you have to do all the things every time you go into these other facilities. We found 120 acres in Ovett, Mississippi for $60,000, and it was like it was divine guidance to find something that cheap that met all of our criteria because it had all the outbuildings. We're all volunteers. We came there to make a difference in the state of Mississippi. Wanda and I are both working on our doctorate degrees in adult education. We wanted to keep our education in Mississippi.
And you don't think your neighbors like you?
No, my neighbors do not like me.
Why not?
We found someone stole a newsletter from our mailbox. It's the only way it could have gotten out because it was to the volunteers. And someone took the newsletter. It was copied by the thousands. It was handed out in grocery store parking lots. It was given out at the churches. And Wanda and I in that newsletter talked about this being created from Lesbian Vision, from our vision, because we've been together. We've been together for 10 years, and this is something that our life's work is about.
Okay. And the good people of Ovett, Mississippi, you say what to them?
I say, if you have an education center, why do you have a lock gate and a fence all the way around?
And I answer that because there have been shots fired at us. There have been men on our lands with guns. There's been 2 different cars that have gotten stuck at the end of our driveway with drunken men coming up there wanting to look at the lesbians. And we're scared to death. I don't go to the post office without my son.
All these accusations are not true.
Yes, they are.
A lot of them they're making up, like
No,
the
we are
dog
not.
in the ditch.
Liar,
Like the dog in the ditch. The police report states that the dog was found dead, lying in the ditch.
The dog was draped over our mailbox.
All right, may the
law enforcement did not ever.
May the dog rest in peace.
Please.
Let's put the dog
buried on
aside.
our land.
What I want to know, let's get to the issue.
Well, let's get the straight story about the dog before
Okay.
we go on. The dog was found lying dead in the ditch when the law enforcement officers
And my
got
daughter
there.
found the
there
dog.
Was
It was
no,
on the
Oh, my
mailbox.
gosh.
We have pictures of this lady.
there was no gunshot wound.
You're
in
here
there.
to denounce everything that
one at
we're
a time.
doing.
There
Okay.
was no gunshot wound in the dog.
Yes,
Okay.
there was.
Okay,
The law
all right.
enforcement-
You know what? We're not going to talk about the dog anymore.
report
Okay,
is on-
you say they were put there. We're not going to talk about the dog anymore, I promise you. Okay, no more dog. Now. Okay. Now. What is it that you don't like about their camp? I trust you don't want their camp in Ovett, Mississippi. Is that right?
I was raised in this community.
Yes.
This was a good community. It is a good community. We were raised with family values. I lived there, and I never in my life, until I was grown and up in 20 and 30 years old, heard the word homosexual, lesbian. We want to raise our children in the same environment that I was raised in. Our children don't need to know about these things. We don't want these people being role models for our children. They're in the wrong place. There are places in the United States that would open arms and receive them and welcome them. They need to go to
What if someone
Christian
said-
towns, right?
In our local newspapers, we have been informed that several years ago in a kidnapping case in our community, that the Hensons knew about the kidnapping, they supported the kidnapping, and they could have participated in the actual hiding of the child. This was against the law. My question is this the type of educational services they want to provide?
What do you mean? You're saying that they were involved... They were involved in a kidnapping to try and get a young woman to become a lesbian? Is that what you're saying?
There was a young child kidnapped. Yeah. The young child was hidden. These people knew about the situation, supported the situation, and very possibly participated in hiding the child. We don't want that kind of education in Ovett. We don't need that. That's against the law.
Mother... Can I answer that?
Yes. All right, let her answer. Go ahead and answer.
The mother and the child were in hiding because the little girl had been sexually abused. I saw medical reports from Children's Hospital in New Orleans where that child had been sexually abused. The mother died while she was in hiding, and volunteers took the little girl because the mother had begged them not to let anything happen.
The child to the daddy after this was all over.
The child was taken to California.
These are rumors that she's telling about.
I am a professional adult educator. I am working on my doctorate in adult education, and so is Brenda at the University of Southern Mississippi. And I have been a lifelong Mississippian. My grandmother lived her life out in Laurel, thank you very much, and all of my cousins are up in Sumrall. I am from the Brooms and the Scruggs family. And you check and see if I don't belong in Mississippi, y'all. I belong in Mississippi.
All right. How about... All right.
About family values. Let's talk about family values. I've got an 88-year-old mother that's supposed to come out there and live with us. She is terrified now, but she's got to come because that's where we're going to live, and she's going to be with us.
All right, let me ask this question.
And my granddaughter's 9 years old, and she's afraid of you people because you are hate mongers, and you are teaching your children to hate.
Hey,
okay. What is it? Isn't the crux of this issue that you are lesbians, the people in your camp have a lesbian lifestyle, they are lesbian by orientation, by birth, or whatever? I won't get into that right now, but basically it's primarily a lesbian group. And in your community, with all this other stuff aside, you prefer not to have a camp, not to have a magnet, not to have a center which attracts lesbians in your community. Isn't that what this really debate is all about?
Correct.
And then what is it that you are afraid of? Now, okay, here's my question. I assume, are you a mom?
Yes.
Okay, I assume you're a good mom. You, like every other good mother, passes on your values, your religion, your morality, whatever it is, to your children.
Right.
As long as you do that, the question then is, what significance is it if someone down the road has either a different religion or a different lifestyle or different values? And if you'd answer that question.
Okay.
Go ahead. You talk better.
Either one. Go ahead.
Okay. We want our children raised in an environment to where we have so many problems with our young people these days that we don't need this facet of life to come in and our children have to look at that every day. They're wanting to build a 180-bed retreat is what I understand, or cult center, or whatever you want to call it. And they've sent out maps across the country giving directions to our community, telling these people they can come there. We don't want those people there. We don't need those people there because we want the people like we were there first. They can go somewhere else.
Well,
we had our community. Let them go find a community where there's people like them.
Jerry,
what about...
we have educational facilities. We are less than 30 minutes from the University of Southern Mississippi. We have Jones Junior College that is 15 minutes from us.
But it's not feminist education,
they have
sister,
a displaced...
and we are feminists.
You just
and that is what we're doing, is building a feminist education cultural training center. There's not another one in the nation.
All right, I tell you what.
We're the first.
When we return, I tell you, I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to give you all a chance. It's got to be one at a time, though. When we return, we're going to meet Wanda and Brenda's adult daughter, who says she's seen the violence in Ovett firsthand. Going to hear another point of view, too. Please stay with us. If you just joined us, there is a camp in the town of Ovett, Mississippi, that attracts primarily lesbians. They talk about feminist issues, teach feminist issues, and the people of that community are not very happy that that is there. And there's a great conflict about them saying, you know, why don't you take your camp and go someplace else? Well, Andrea Gibbs is Wanda and Brenda's daughter, and she says that the people of Ovett are not telling the whole story. What are they leaving out?
Well, first of all, Jerry, I'm going to upset you because I'm going to talk about the dog. I was the one who found the puppy along with...
Hey, all right, okay. Okay.
The puppy had been shot in the stomach with a 9mm gun. There were 2 shell casings that were laying in front of the
Police
mailbox.
report says otherwise.
All right, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Okay. Here's the problem with talking about the dog. It's not the issue. I believe that you believe that someone put that dog there as a sign to get on out, and you're saying not, and I understand you both agree, but we're not going to settle that issue here today. The reason I'm not saying the dog isn't important, oh, the poor dog, but I'm saying I want to deal with the basic issue of what you're trying to have happen at your camp and the community response. That's the issue. That's what I'm saying. Let's stay away from the dog.
And as far as the dog goes, it brings me around to the Sheriff's Department and law enforcement. And I am the executive director and founder of the Victims of Voice Incorporated and have been working on prison reform in the jails in Mississippi now for about 4 years. My mothers were involved with a commission hearing that we had in Jackson in March of this year, and as a result of our work, the Sheriff's Department's jail has been ordered completely shut down because of the conditions in the jail and the way that the prisoners were treated. As a result, the law enforcement...
We're building a new jail.
Community are not supportive.
Please talk about the issue.
That is the issue. The fact is that when my mother has to call the police department to come and get them, they're not going to come out there to help. They are in the process of covering up different things that are going on in the community. I was on the land and was shot at less than 20 feet away from me, along with my 14-year-old daughter, who was standing beside me when it happened. When the law enforcement officer came, he simply said, well, they're over there in the field hunting. I pointed out the fact to him that it was illegal to hunt after dark. So the law enforcement officer was not in any way whatsoever wanting to assist us, wanting to find out what was going on, why someone was shooting many torpedoes less than 20 feet away from me and 3 other individuals.
Okay, so
there were 3 acetylene bombs that were set up on the land.
It is your view that the police department, it is your view then that the police department kind of supports the community view that they don't want your camp around.
Absolutely. The sheriff even raised money to assist in the legal defense for the community.
First of all, I'd like to, both of you two said that you have children.
Yes.
You guys have children. What would you do? What would you do if your children or your grandchildren came to you and said that they were homosexual? What would you do? Would you run them out of their town? And also, I'd like to know. First of all,
wait, let her answer. Hold on. You're saying you would?
I probably would.
First of all,
okay, hold on.
My children are
our children are not homosexual.
I understand your children are not homosexual. I understand. I believe you.
You don't know yet.
The question. No, but what you're saying, please, it doesn't do any good to yell. You don't have a mic.
My grandchildren has values.
Okay.
She has grandchildren. Her children are not
right now, I'm not discussing that. The question that was, please, the question that was asked was if you found out that your child, I'm not saying it is your child, but if you found out that your child was homosexual, the question was, would you ask that child to leave the town? And you said yes. Am I right?
I would.
You would make your own child leave if your child was homosexual?
So. Probably so.
Why?
What I would do if I found out that, but my children are not, I would love my children. I would support my children, and I would get them help. because anyone who is a homosexual or a lesbian is against what God teaches and they have a sick mind. It is a sick mind.
Okay.
I just want to say it's a free country and you can live wherever you want. So it doesn't matter who was where first. If you don't like it, why don't you leave?
We were there and we plan to stay.
What I gotta say is, if it's such a free country and you don't like the way people are treating you around you, just get up and move. Move somewhere else where maybe some people are gonna like the way you act and the way you are.
We were there. We were there first.
Move away.
We didn't want them, and they came in.
You what?
We were there. We have the majority.
Okay, the
They're
danger.
the minority. They go where
I understand.
they are, not where we are.
I understand.
There are places that there's land
I'm a
for sale.
lifelong Mississippian.
I understand. There's a
folks.
danger.
I ain't going nowhere.
Excuse me. There's a danger. There's a danger in the philosophy. There's a danger in the philosophy that those who were there first, it's their land. Because if that's the case, unless you're a Native American, you better pack your bags and leave. We all got to get out. Okay. I mean, we can't.
And that's a good point, because my grandmother is Choctaw, and I live on Choctaw land now, and my grandmother lived her life out in Laurel,
It's
and
my
this is
time
my
to
land.
Okay.
Listen, if y'all are so threatened over there in this wonderful place y'all have come to our community and put up, why is it that the law hadn't come and locked none of us up, and y'all walking around with shotguns, 357 Magnums?
I just explained why the law is not
Everything.
helping. I have a 357, and
What you want to sit there and lie for, woman?
you a liar, little boy. Sit down. I heard about
Let me
you.
get one-
We know about you and all the stuff that you've done. You better repent yourself, boy. I ain't listening to it. The Constitution's on my side.
We're governed by the laws.
Okay.
We're governed by the laws of the Constitution of the United States of America.
That's
not
right.
by the Bible and not by bigotry.
That's right.
Jerry, I think there's something that's being drastically overlooked by these women. The reason that the Ovett people believe like they believe, God said that his wrath is against all unrighteousness and ungodliness of men. He says that their lifestyle...
love thy neighbor,
Let
too.
them be quiet, please. He says that their lifestyle is a vile affection. Even they have
Preach
gone
on
against
national
nature.
TV.
Okay.
They have
Affliction,
gone against
not
nature,
affection.
and they're under the wrath of God and even worthy of death. Now, that's why these people here, that's why I believe like that. God told us this is an unnatural, a vile
understand that.
affection.
Okay. I understand. I understand that is your belief. That is your religion.
That's this book.
That's books, right.
That's
but
your
there
book.
are... Okay, hold on. Hold on. Without getting into debate, because there are those who will say, I'm very Christian, but I also happen to be lesbian and God loves me too. But that aside, there are those who say that. Okay, just hold on. But that aside for the question, because I'm not here to argue the Bible, but there are many, many Americans and a majority of the world that believes in another Bible other than this, okay? Okay, most of the people in the world are Muslims, Hindus, etc. So the point is, here in the United States of America, maybe, and I'm not speaking for you, but I'm saying maybe there's someone who doesn't believe in this particular Bible, believes in God, but differently than you do, and that person chooses to live in Ovett, Mississippi. The question is, here in the United States of America, isn't it okay to live wherever you want, even if you don't have the same religion you do, even if you don't have the same background as you do? Isn't that what America's about?
Let me say this. Everybody has a personal will, and these women have a will to live like that. I just want them to know that a sovereign God says that their affection is a vile affection, and that they know the judgment of God, and those who do that are worthy of death.
Well,
And
then
that's what's
don't
going
hang
to
out
happen
with
to
them.
them.
Okay, is it therefore...
And you're
one more
inviting
question.
that.
Should they therefore be forced to leave Ovett, Mississippi?
No, they should repent.
Okay, but...
And become good citizens of that community
We are
and live
good
a moral and
citizens.
spiritual life.
Okay, we're going to take a break. Hold on. The women from Sister Spirit have compared what they're going through to what happened to black people in the South. When we come back, we're going to hear from a black minister who is outraged that these women would compare their situation to what black people had to suffer through. Going to hear both sides again. Don't go away. Andrea, you're saying that this is a civil rights issue?
Absolutely.
Similar to what blacks went through in the 1950s, et cetera. Why don't you just state your position, and then I'll get a response from you.
What is happening is terrorism. Just as in the 1960s, black men were accused of trying to ravage white women, so they were hung from trees. Now these people are accusing my mothers of going out and trying to recruit their wives and their daughters, and they're terrorizing them. Black people back in the 60s were run off their land. They were run out of town. They were terrorized. They couldn't go out at night. They were shot in their driveways. The same types of behaviors that are being exerted by the townspeople and the law enforcement in Mississippi is the exact same types of behavior that was exerted back in the 1960s.
Okay. Now I want you to meet Reverend James Sykes. He marched for civil rights in the South, and he says he's outraged that anyone could compare their situation to the torture that was inflicted on black people. Reverend Sykes, these women, you've just heard what Andrea said, they're saying they're fighting for their rights, and they're being discriminated against, and they're being harassed, etc., in Mississippi. You may respond. Does she have a point?
No, she do not. First of all, I am outraged by homosexuals trying to coattail on the back of the civil rights movement. Number one, civil rights are inborn traits. Being a female, being a male, being black, being Jewish, those are things we cannot control. Okay, homosexuality, some people call it a sexual preference. All right, they have some documents say maybe it may be hereditary, maybe not, but you can't base 2 or 3 reports on the whole nation. So what I look at, if homosexuality is not an inborn trait, because I feel so many of them have changed and begin to live a straight life, okay? But now, during the civil rights, you never seen a black, and all of a sudden God changed his mind and said, hey, I'm going to make you white. It doesn't work that way. So my point is, I can't see them coattailing on the back of that. Another thing too, the homosexuals were never denied the right to vote, Jerry. They never had to sit in the back of the bus. They never had water hose turned on them. They never had all these things we had to face. There never was access to public accommodations.
Isn't there a part of you? Isn't there a part of you that kind of? I understand your view on homosexuality. I understand your view. Okay, I don't. By the way, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand what you're saying. However, is there a part of you which says, oh, here we go, kicking people out of Mississippi again because they're not like us? Do you relate to that at all? Can you see how they're saying, God, everybody's against us now. We just want to live here. You don't have to be like us. You don't have to date us. You don't have to have your children play with us, whatever. Just, we want to live here. And you remember that. Do you relate to any of that? Can you sympathize at all, or is it just totally different?
It's totally different. The movement for the civil rights was a Christian movement. It started with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. The laws were based on Christianity. Christianity states that homosexuality is wrong. All right, and this is what we go by.
If you are not a Christian, hold on.
It was a non-violent.
Let's say you're Muslim. Excuse me. Let's say you're not Christian. Let's say you're Muslim.
Okay.
Okay. Are you allowed to live here in America?
Sure.
Are you allowed to live in Ovett, Mississippi?
I agree.
So arguing the Bible isn't relevant then, because let's say they don't believe it.
Okay, that's good. That's a good point.
I'm not endorsing. Hold on. Okay, understand what I'm saying. If they're saying they don't believe what you're saying, they don't believe that interpretation of the Bible, or even if they said we don't believe in that Bible, in the United States of America, aren't they allowed to live in Ovett, Mississippi?
Jerry, can I make a point?
Yes.
We do not mind these ladies or these lesbians living in Ovett. We do not mind you lesbians living in Ovett, but that's not the point. We do not need your retreat.
Then don't come. Stay home.
Well, can I make a point, Jerry? Let me finish.
Okay, let her finish. Yeah, then I'm going to let her finish.
Let me finish. We have a place for women that are battered.
Right.
We've got one of the best.
We don't have a battered shelter. That's
okay.
that's a lie.
We have a great place for children that are sexually molested.
And we don't want, it's not a shelter, it's an education center. It's a feminist education center.
Tell me, what are you going to educate?
About racism, about anti-Semitism, about fat oppression, about family abuse, about homophobia.
Hey, those things, Jerry.
Okay.
Jerry. Those things sound very nice. Let me tell you something. Those ideas, what they're saying, they sound very nice. Let's have another retreat. That's how Jonestown got started.
No,
That's how
it's
the
not.
Grand Pavilion
Now make a
Compound got
point.
started.
No, it's not.
You have to look at these things. This is not their agenda. This is not their agenda.
We don't recruit.
This is not their agenda.
Okay, I understand, but let me...
Lesbianism is not a cult. We don't recruit people. It just kind of happens. You just kind of realize this. You know, this.
Wrong.
You come to an understanding of yourself. You grow in yourself. And also, yes, some black people do live as white. Isn't that what you call an Uncle Tom?
No,
yes.
no.
And also, to respond to this,
whether you call Uncle Tom or not, whether he's Uncle Tom, he's still black. Whether you like it or not, he is black.
God judge them in heaven if you believe in the Bible. Why don't you just wait and let God judge them in heaven?
I don't have nothing about judging. I don't have anything about judging. I don't have anything about judging.
Is there any chance that these people can all learn to live together? We're going to talk about that when we come back. Please stay with us.
Guests of the Jerry Springer Show stay at the elegant Midland Hotel in the heart of downtown Chicago, where guests enjoy a complimentary lavish breakfast buffet and attentive personal service.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, we're dealing with a feminist camp, a lesbian camp, or at least most of the people there are lesbians in a town called Ovett, Mississippi. The people of the community are not happy at all that that camp is there. Dr. Janice Stevenson is a psychologist who frequently handles conflict mediation cases. Dr. Stevenson, is there any light at the end of this tunnel? I mean, what you have are a group of people, and I've been reminded, they've driven a long way on this issue. That's how, you know, from Ovett, Mississippi to Chicago is a long, long ride. And they come up here, that's how strongly they feel about the issue. And on the other side, you have people who say, this is what we are. We want freedom in this country. Okay, no, all right. How do you bring it together, or can you?
The possibilities are there for some compromise and for some agreement. They do say some of the same things that they share in common. Both groups represent a strong belief in the value of the community. Both groups speak about and see themselves as working from a position of divine guidance. However, each group is so caught up in the fear that change will occur to the way that life is for them that neither is able to hear what the other group is saying. As I'm listening to both groups, neither group listens to what the other one is saying long enough to do anything than respond to the debate.
Well, let's assume that they're just not going to agree. For example, I don't think there's anything that's going to be said at this show or in any speech that is going to get this community to say, come on in. And yet, there's nothing and no one suggests that they ought to change that's who they are, that's what they believe in, that is their life, and they're not going to change either. So where is the resolution that they can live there in peace?
If they can hear what each other is saying, they could possibly hear that the resolution is in the spiritual values that they both represent.
Okay.
The spiritual values that we represent, and I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to people that's watching it in the world. If you saw the March on Washington, if you saw how they walked down the streets topless, we don't want to have, I don't want my kids or my grandkids to see people walking down the streets topless.
You're not
if this keeps going on, 5 years from today, they'll be walking down the streets of Laurel, Mississippi topless, and nobody can do nothing about it.
I wouldn't want you
Number
to see
two,
me topless.
These folks has got a food bank.
I don't want to see it either.
They got a food bank in Gulfport. I'll take some of their food, and I won't come after it. I'll let them bring it to me.
Jerry?
We have got food, and we're making food available for people in Ovett right now.
Each group only listens to what the other one is saying.
Okay, come on.
Each group only listens long enough to marshal a response, and each group uses inflammatory statements and buzzwords that are guaranteed to draw an angry, hostile response.
Sure.
Neither group is open to hear that they share a compatible value system that allows them some space to compromise if they can step out of the fear.
I disagree with that to this extent. We do represent Ovett. It's a small town. I have called and asked, could I come over and just see the agenda, talk to you. I have been refused.
I told you to come on, Cora.
No, you are
lying. I did.
No, I'm sorry.
Yes,
this
I
house
did.
ruled with fear and lies. I even suggested.
I got you on tape. I told you to come.
I even suggested going to a restaurant where there wouldn't be nobody, no news cameras.
I told you to come.
Anytime there's a confirmation, there's always a news camera there.
No.
Okay,
I told you to come.
But
That might keep my mama from getting shot.
What? You say we're afraid? What we are afraid of is another Waco,
That's
another
exactly right.
cop,
That's
another
right.
compound.
That's exactly right.
When they came to Ovett, they bought.
That's what happened.
When they came to Ovett, the first thing they did, they went in the store and bought every shell in the store.
You're a liar.
They're not supposed to even have guns.
That's not true. Cora.
You know what? You guys are missing the point. Jesus said love each other. He didn't say hate. He didn't say prejudge people. You don't know who they are. He said love each other.
But I know when they're lying against me. And you're going to hell for lying, hon.
If you're saying somebody love somebody, then you're saying leave the Bible out of it, then leave the Bible out of it. We're talking about issue here. All right, now people are trying to force their stuff on someone else. Now, these people came in Ovett forcing themselves on these people.
No,
okay.
sir. We haven't forced anything.
What they're saying...
There was no way that the African Americans, when we marched, we didn't force ourselves. We didn't try to get no special law. All we wanted was to enforce the laws that was already on the books.
That's all I want.
We was only enforcing the laws that was on the books.
Okay, hold on. Wait, in fairness, the Civil Rights Movement also asked for changes in laws. We had the Civil Rights Act of 1964. We had this, we did change the laws because we thought there was a higher good.
Jared, please.
No,
so we did change the laws.
Do you know why you changed the laws? Because you didn't enforce the ones you had in the beginning.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay,
you didn't even enforce the laws you had in the beginning.
I'll get back to you. I hear music. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to ask the people of Ovett how far they'd be willing to go to try to reach some compromise with the women from Camp Sister Spirit. Please don't go away.
Tomorrow, there are black women who say they're looking for a good black man but can't find one. But black men say they're out there. Black women versus black men, tomorrow on Springer.
Let's say you were sent in as this emissary to Ovett, Mississippi, and said, okay, here's one side and here's another side. And right now, polar worlds apart, but it's not unlike the Mideast. It's not unlike Eastern Europe. It's not unlike many places in the world where right now there are two absolutely fundamental different points of view. People believe it with their core. One man is holding up the Bible here. Another woman is saying, this is everything I am. This is the core of my belief. Okay, very sincere people on absolutely opposite ends of the poles. Right. Where do you start with resolution, if there is any? First step.
One of the steps I would like to see each of them do is to take a mirror and turn it around to themselves to see if they actually are taking actions and saying words and giving expressions that are true to who they say their values are. Because if you check the tape of this show, each has very angry faces. Each says words that are guaranteed to inflame the other, and each continuously calls each other a liar. Until that stops, there may not be room for any compromise because they only see through the filter of their fear and the threat to their way of life. So to turn the mirror around means that you take responsibility for how you're presenting yourself.
Yes.
Jerry, it's hunting season in Mississippi. It's been hunting season since October. We had squirrel season. We're in the center of the national forest.
Yes.
DeSoto National Forest. They're on prime hunting ground. It's hunting ground all around them. It's hunting ground. I hear shots
I know, but she just finished saying the resolution is, and the first thing we're talking now is about where's the resolution? What are you personally, and I'll ask them the same, what are you personally going to do to try and resolve your situation with them?
How can you resolve anything when they won't listen to us?
Okay.
But there is a resolution. Each believes that the other doesn't listen. The reality is that neither group listens. They don't listen to themselves, and they don't listen to the other group. Until they stop talking.
All right.
Stop talking and start listening.
Okay. Okay. Let me say this, please. Why? You know, I think that this movement is a movement looking for sympathetic people.
They are.
All right. Now let me explain the reason why. Shows like this, You know, and even in the military, you get a gay in the military, and then he sue the whole United States. You get a gay want to go to college, and all this, it just shows that they sympathize with the people and get them to voice their opinion, get people to sympathize with their sides. And I think this is a shame. This is wrong. They know they're wrong. That's why they voice their opinion.
All right.
That's why they voice their opinion. Because
hold on.
And you know that.
Hold on. Okay. If you will come here, to come with me, and sir, you come down here, because I want to end this I'm going to end this particular segment by hearing 2 points of view from our audience, and then we're going to get to you, because I want to keep this as balanced as I can. You go first.
Okay, what I want to say, I want to dispel a couple myths. Miss Talitha, you've said... Talitha, whatever. You said that Wanda and Brenda hate males and other men. Well, I'm a male. What's first, I'm a straight male that's been living on the land since December. My mothers are scared up there. They're living in fear. I have to go with my mother when she goes to school at night. I have to go with her to the post office. I have to go armed because of you. I mean, there's no way that this violence could have been started without the interference.
Have you seen me with a gun?
Looking for sympathy.
Okay.
You're looking for sympathy.
Looking for sympathy.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, he's speaking from his heart, and maybe we should say...
I appreciate what he's saying.
That's what he's looking for.
I like to say I'm from Ovett. I've lived there 42 years. That's my home. I was raised there. My children will be raised there. And they will be raised with the guidance of God. And I'd like these women right here, they have come into our home, and I'm tired of them wiping their feet on our people.
That's what they're doing.
That's all you're doing.
Have they been to your home?
They're looking for sympathy.
No, they haven't.
They're not coming to your home.
I'm sorry. I thought you said they came to your home.
I didn't say they come to my home. I said I'm tired of them wiping their feet on our community.
It's our
they came to your community.
too.
That's right.
It's our community too.
Okay.
We have the endorsement of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference.
Okay,
Dr.
we're going to take a break.
Called the Justice
We're going to take
Department
a
on
break.
our
When we
behalf.
come back, we're going to continue with what you were saying, okay? We'll be right back. Stay with us.
For your free tickets to the Jerry Springer Show in Chicago, write Jerry Springer, Tickets, Post Office Box 4115, Chicago, Illinois, 60654, or call 312-321-5365.
Just before we left, we had a gentleman standing here from Ovett, Mississippi, who gave his point of view, and he also told me during the break that it is his firm view that there is no harassment going on in Ovett, Mississippi. That is the position you're taking. Okay, that is his position, and he said very strongly. Yes.
My question is to the Reverend. It seems like these people are deeply rooted generations in Ovett, Mississippi. How could you sit here and agree with the same people 20, 30 years ago who are trying to deny your rights?
I'm answering this right now. Look, let me tell you something. People change, and I hope you do too, okay? Because you need to. And I hope you change. If I had to keep on believing, I wouldn't be up here with you. Let me tell you one thing. Look at Jerry. Jerry's a Jew. He's a Jew.
Yes.
So what you think about them? Them same people. All right, I'm not preaching though, but you get the question over.
It frustrates me that people take their fears and their ignorances and try to intimidate what they're afraid of instead of educate themselves. And for the Reverend, I am ashamed that I am sitting here and that you don't side with people who are trying to fight for rights when we had, my mother's generation and the generation before them had to fight for our rights.
Right, yeah, right, you're right. You're right, right. It's my right to be black. It's my right to be black, but it's not my right to be a homosexual, and nobody's right to be a homosexual. Now, you put that in the Bible. You can put that in the Bible if you want to. No. You can put that, you take that out of the Bible.
Let's at least be factually correct. Under the laws of the United States of America, it is okay to be a homosexual, okay? I mean, legally. The law is that. I didn't say the Bible, I said the law.
Jerry, all right, well, look, I don't go by the law.
What I don't understand is these two ladies right here keep saying that they don't mind that they're lesbians, they mind the retreat. Well, they can't even tell you what the retreat does. I mean, they had to ask them what the retreat's there for. I mean, how can they argue against something they know nothing about?
These Christian mothers don't want these women showing their children homosexuality, but is our right to teach your children prejudice and hate?
That's not prejudice. That's not prejudice. That's sympathizing.
Go ahead. Let's hear from her.
That's not prejudice and hate. That's what we believe.
That's not hate.
No, come on.
I do not hate these people. I hate their lifestyle.
Jerry.
That is not in God's... God does not teach that homosexuality...
They want sympathizers. They want sympathizers, Jerry.
The beginnings of a compromise.
What's that?
If I can represent what we've been talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
We've asked for mediation.
Okay.
That's what we've asked for.
The two women here have agreed to invite a group of 20 from the town with a mediator so that they can begin the education process, which is what you want.
We have asked the Justice Department to send mediators so that we can all sit down at the table. That's what we want, because we don't want to live, and we want these people to understand what we're there for. We're not there to hurt their family values. We have families, too. We want to be a part of the community. We want to continue our work there like we did on the coast.
No. First step towards a compromise, the meeting?
Well, maybe that's good. Maybe that's good. That's good.
Jerry, why do we need the Justice Department?
Because that's a safe place for them.
I need a mediator.
They can get mediators from the Department of Labor.
Yes.
We're not doing
We're going to take a break.
We're not
We'll be
doing
right back.
fighting them.
Let me take this opportunity to thank all of you for being with us today. Obviously, a major point of disagreement. Nevertheless, it looked like towards the end, some room for compromise. I do, particularly in this case, want to thank our audience for being here today. I know some of you came a long way from Ovett, Mississippi to air your point of view. I know others of you came from equally long places. Thank you very much for being here. This is a tough one. You know, we've spent considerable time today talking about homosexuality, whether it's godly or not, whether one chooses to be homosexual or by birth simply is, whether it threatens the values of the majority community. And yet, in this case, none of that may be relevant. Clearly, most folks in Ovett, Mississippi don't want the camp there, don't want the lesbian lifestyle anywhere near them. And yet, this is America. And though it is the business of each of us to instill a value system in our own children, it is the business of none of us to impose such lifestyle, value system, religion, politics, or sexual orientation on our neighbors. We may have the right to say, I don't want a Catholic or a Baptist or a Jew or a black in my neighborhood, but we don't have the right to enforce it. It's really very fundamental. If you can stop someone from living in your town because of what they are, then one day they can stop you from living where you want because of what you are. There are places in the world where that is the case, but they are not called America. Till next time, take care of yourself and each other.
Jonelle presents salon-style sculptured nails. Easy to apply, just stick it, buff it, gel it, set it. You'll love it. Gel nails from Jonelle.
EnviroCare portable indoor air cleaners clear the air of smoke, dust, pollen, bacteria, and viruses. EnviroCare, the science of clean air.
Scrabble, America's good time game. Yeah, it's Scrabble.
And now there's Sesame Street Scrabble, your child's first Scrabble game.
Promise Ultra, 65% less fat and calories than margarine, and a light, delicate taste. Promise Ultra, get heart smart.
Jerry Springer's Wardrobe, provided by Giorgio Armani, Chicago, Illinois.